Oh, hello. My name is Mara, and welcome to Books Like Whoa. All right, guys, this is definitely something that would fall in the category of excessive book haul, but let's just keep in mind, it was my birthday month, so I was treating myself. I also got Amazon cards for my birthday. I also won an Amazon card from work, so I just had some money to spend. Also, it was Prime Day, so there's a couple of good deals going. So, you know, shit happened. Let's just dive into this. We're gonna start with random books that I picked up, and we will progress into like, there'll be a nice little flow here. I've thought this one through, so we will get into it, ending with a very exciting addition to my collection. Okay, so the first category is random books that I picked up either because I had this random Amazon money to spend or a particularly good deal emerged for some of these books, or I was at Books A Million and they were there for really cheap. So first up, The Bookish Life of Nina Hill by Abbi Waxman. I picked this up because it went on sale for $9. It just came out, and it looks like one of these kind of new trends of books that are somewhere between a rom-com and chick lit, and it's based on a super bookish girl. So I just think that this sounds super cute, and I'm excited to give it a try because I support this genre existing and being prominent in the world. Next, I just realized looking at this stack maybe embodies how variable my taste is better than many stacks of books that I've held in a while. Okay, so like very differently, Not All Dead White Men by Donna Zuckerberg. Classics and Misogyny in the Digital Age. I picked this up on the recommendation of Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts, who I absolutely love. If you are not following her, which you very likely are because she is a very big booktube channel, you definitely should be. If you like my channel, I think you would definitely like Jean. I just really enjoy her stuff a lot. She is getting her PhD in the classics, and she recommended this book. I think you see a lot of sort of like right-wing adjacent online discourse about women's roles in classical society, and basically I think this Donna Zuckerberg is sort of a classicist who kind of wants to like set the record straight about that. So I am definitely really looking forward to getting to this piece of nonfiction at some point sometime soon. Then I picked up The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. I'm gonna guess maybe how you say this. I picked this up because I think I mentioned in my July mid-month check-in, I got very into this rabbit hole of like world hoppers, Murphy Napier, Daniel Green, that whole little crew, and they're constantly talking about the Witcher series, so I'm like, I'm down, that sounds great. Also, I'm very excited that this first book is apparently short stories. I love short stories, so I think that that could be a good introduction. So yeah, this is some kind of high fantasy for me to dip my toes into at some point. And then two books I picked up because during Prime Day, they were on very big sale. They were each only $9, and I'd been kind of on the bubble for getting each of them, but they are very hyped on BookTube, and I think both of them sound like they could be really fun. So first, Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This is sort of like a dystopian female version of Lord of the Flies that's also queer. So I think that sounds really interesting, so we'll see how I do with it. Also, this cover design is fantastic. But yeah, it was, you know, when it went on sale for $9, I was like, sure, I'll give that a try. And then similarly, this was on sale for $9, The Devouring Grey by Christina Lynn Herman. I've seen this compared to Stranger Things, which I absolutely love. So, and Bethany at Beautifully Bookish Bethany really enjoyed this one. So I was like, you know what, for $9, I've seen some more mixed reviews on this one, but I'm definitely willing to give it a try. And I like the idea of this, so I'm hoping it also ends up being a hit for me. A couple of mysteries, and then we'll talk about a couple I picked up at Books A Million. So first, Murder at Morrington Hall by Clara McKenna. During Prime Day, I ended up doing some, you know, horse swapping and ended up with a $5 book credit basically, and I decided to use it for this. This is a mystery set sort of like, I think kind of like an Edwardian, like turn of the century type setting. And the setup is that this girl goes with her father to a house party And when she gets there, she finds out that he is marrying her to the dude who owns the house, and she didn't know that. So like, I think that there's like a strong like kind of romantic element to this, but then also somebody dies at this country house party, which I love that as a trope. So I think that this has a lot of Mara trope bait in it, and I'm very hopeful that this will be one that I really enjoy. And then I picked up my first Louise penny because I was at my local independent bookstore, and it was a weekend where 10% of their profits were going to Races, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, that charity in Texas that is working with families who are in horrible detention centers and trying to provide them legal aid. So I wanted to support my bookstore while they were doing that, and everybody keeps telling me that I will love Louise penny. This was the one that they had kind of displayed, so I was like, okay, sure, at some point I will give her a go. She's sort of been on my radar of people I might like. So there you go. And then finally, a couple of books. I think I got each of these for $3 at Books A Million. So one is Lincoln and the Bardo by George Saunders, which is a literary alternative history / magical realism-y, I think, kind of take on Lincoln and his family. It won a bunch of awards a few years ago. I really like George Saunders' short stories, so I'm pretty hopeful for this. And then Warcross by Marie Liu, because I've never tried any Marie Liu, and I'm definitely down to try some YA science fiction-y type stuff. You will see more of that coming up here. But, you know, both of these were really good deals, books that I'd kind of had my eye on, sort of, and $3 each. Why not? But like I said, that stack, the amount of variety of genre, literariness, etc. in that stack was pretty impressive, right? I mean, like, you gotta give me that. If nothing else, there was a real range of taste on display. That was very books like whoa in a stack, I feel like. Okay, transitioning into a few books that were kindly sent to me by publishers / companies. First, I got 3 books from Harlequin, romantic suspense. And I've read one of them and am in progress on one. So the one that I've read was The Seekers by Heather Graham. Unfortunately, this one didn't really work for me. I had some problems with the authorial voice, basically, but it is a new title coming out where basically the setup is that there is a crew of kind of like paranormal TV people going to this supposedly haunted inn, and once they get there, lo and behold, there's an actual body and they see spooky things. So there's an FBI guy who works in like a paranormal FBI squad who comes out to help investigate. It's a romance, so you can guess what happens from there. Like I said, just the authorial voice didn't quite work for me, so I'm not going to be holding on to this one, but I appreciate them sending it to me. One that I'm in the middle of and am enjoying more is Wyoming Cowboy Ranger by Nicole Helm. Nicole Helm is somebody whose contemporary romances I have enjoyed, so I was looking forward to trying something that was more romantic suspensey from her. Not my favorite just in terms of the character motivations or the way the characters are going, but I'm overall enjoying this one definitely better than the other one I just mentioned. So I'm definitely primed to try more from Nicole Helm in this realm. Rhyme again. And then one I've not yet read is Carla Neggers, Imposter's Lure. This is basically a romantic suspense set sort of like in the art world. So there is a art world related death, and that tends to be a trope that I enjoy pretty well. So I'm looking forward to trying her. I've never tried her before, so we'll see how that goes. So thank you to Harlequin for sending me those. And then I have 2 books to show you because I have become a Book of the Month Club YA affiliate. They reached out to me, asked me if I was interested, and I said definitely yes, because I'm always interested in kind of like broadening my horizons and trying some new things in YA. So one thing I want to say before we get going is that I have seen a lot of folks who are also becoming Book of the Month Club YA affiliates, which I think is great. I use the normal, like the main Book of the Month Club, like the adult version. I'm already a member of that, and I enjoy using it from time to time. I have a Book of the Month Club hopefully showing up today, actually, on the day I'm filming this. So it's a service that I like. I think it's really well run, and I believe in the service and feel good recommending it to you. I've had good experiences with them as a whole. So I feel good about recommending it. One thing I do want to make really clear, because I assume that folks are just maybe not knowing this, but honestly, because I watch so much beauty YouTube, and this is something that comes up as a point of discussion quite a bit in that community, is that if you see somebody who has an affiliate link, I just want to make sure that you are absolutely clear that if you use that link, that that person is going to make a commission off of it. And I think that that's great. That is a way that if you are interested in these services and you want to get a discount, because you definitely do get a discount if you use the code below that I have listed with my link, you will get a discount on your first book. But I will also be making money off of that. So if you would like to support the channel, I would really appreciate it if you decide to use that. But I just want to make sure you're really clear, whoever's code you choose to use for Book of the Month Club or Book of the Month Club YA, I just want to make sure you understand that people are making money off of that. I think I've seen people not be as clear about that as I really feel like they need to be. And not even just like should be, it's the right thing to do, but like legally in terms of compliance with the FTC, you need to be very clear that you're making money off of these things. So if you've seen that link going around, I just wanted to, sorry, I feel weird inserting this whole diatribe about this in here, but it's just something that's been bothering me a little bit. And I wanted to be crystal clear that I'm about to show you 2 books that I received for free from Book of the Month Club YA that I'm very excited about reading. And yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys about at some point. But if you use that link, you will be helping support the channel. So I just want to be really clear about that. And now, with all that being said, I've gotten my first 2 books from Book of the Month Club YA, which is a new version of Book of the Month Club. That's why you've seen so many people kind of becoming affiliates, is because they're trying to get it up and running, which I think is really cool. So my first pick that I picked for July was Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. This is an urban fantasy with like a Korean type background to the mythology, which I'm really excited about. If you watch this channel, you know that I really enjoy urban fantasy, and then I really enjoy urban fantasy where there's sort of a non-European based kind of background to the magic. So I think that this will be something that I really enjoy. I also got, I'm very excited about this one. Maybe I might read this afternoon. I got Mind Games by Shana Silver. So this is a near future kind of maybe not dystopia, near future sci-fi mystery. And the premise is that the main character, like our heroine, is a specialist in hacking other people's minds and removing or altering memory. And like, that's her sort of like side hustle in high school. And one day she realizes that somebody has done it to her, like someone has changed her memories, and she's trying to figure out who, why, whatever. I think there's a light romantic element in here. This just sounds like something that is super my jam. So I am very excited to get to this one. So yeah, anyway, both of those are Book of the Month Club picks, YA. I do have the link below with the code. If you would like to support the channel, I will always have that information in my description boxes from here on. So definitely feel free to do so. But I'm excited regardless to get to both of these. Okay, and then speaking of Book of the Month Club, let's transition into my pre-orders. So first, my Book of the Month Club, like adult version, main pick was Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno-Garcia, who I believe is a debut author. This is like a 1920s Cinderella fantasy with Mayan mythology. That sounded fucking rad, so that's why I picked it. So I got this before it came out as a part of Book of the Month Club. Then I pre-ordered Undercurrents by Nora Roberts, because no shit I did. I fucking love Nora Roberts, and I love her standalone suspense books that she comes out with every year. I'm very excited about this one. I've not really seen any reviews yet, but it also doesn't really matter because I'm gonna read this, and even Nora Roberts books that I don't love, I rarely like have a bad time. They're just like not as good as normal. So I'm very excited about that pre-order. And then I already read The Adventure Zone Murder on the Rockport Limited, which came out on July 16th. I love this podcast. This is like one of my favorite podcasts, especially this era of it. And this is also this is an isolated closed circle mystery, I guess, in the strictest terms, but I put it in my almost category. So if you are looking for a graphic novel version of an isolated closed circle mystery, and one that's like humorous and fantasy, like I definitely recommend this. This was a lot of fun. I love this little series of graphic novelizations they're doing of the podcast. I also really love that they always put fan art at the end. Let's see if I can find some. They always have fan art renderings here at the end, which I think is a really cool touch, because even before these became graphic novels, people who listened and loved that podcast were making a lot of fan art. So anyway, I really love this. It was fun. Okay, and now with that almost isolated closed circle mystery, we will transition into our mystery corner segment of my haul. I have 4 either actual isolated closed circles or potential isolated closed circles in my little lineup this month. So first I have The Cheltenham Square Murder by John Bood. This is in that mystery, like Poison Pen Press / British Library, Crime Library Classics, whatever that is in the UK, that series. This is one of those, so it's a classic golden age of detective fiction, one that I think is an isolated close circle, but this one is kind of on the bubble. I'll have to read it to find out for sure. Then I have A Christmas Party by Georgette. This is one that I am pretty sure is an isolated close circle mystery set at Christmas time. They're all snowed in. People start dying. Haven't read a Georgette mystery yet, but maybe this will be my first. Then Farthing by Jo Walton is an alternative history isolated close circle mystery. So basically, I think that this is in a version of the UK where Chamberlain capitulated to Hitler, and essentially like Jews are persona non grata in the UK, and this couple goes to a country house party, and her husband, who I believe is Jewish, is framed for the murder, and they're trying to figure out who done it. So I think that sounds like a super interesting twist on an isolated close circle, so I'm excited to get to that one at some point. And then last but not least, Swiss Vendetta by Tracy DeHaan. I used another $5 credit that I got as a result of Prime Day to get this one, and this is an isolated close circle mystery set at a hotel. Okay, we are rounding the bend here. We now move into collection time, so we're gonna start with my non-classic collections. So first of all, I have been collecting a lot more romance, and actually, is that pretty much everything in this pile? Yeah, more or less. Everything in this pile are me collecting some romances in physical form. I basically have recently let go my rule that I don't collect trade paperbacks for this exception edge case where the authors are independently published and they don't produce paperbacks / for genres where just rarely do people get hardcover releases. I do have a couple of hardcovers in here though. So I added a couple to my Katie Wilde collection because she is an author that I have, trying to get this out here, I've been really enjoying. So I picked up 2 of her Christmas books, Secret Santa and All He Wants for Christmas. I definitely prefer All He Wants for Christmas over Secret Santa, but I think they're both really fun Christmas contemporary romances. So if you are wanting to avoid the heat wave and pretend that it's cold out, those might be good options for you. Then as a part of my birthday haul, I picked up 3 Mariana Zapatas in physical form. I have all her books as ebooks, but I've been collecting them in their paperback version. So first I got Wait For It by Mariana Zapata. This is, I think, probably arguably her best written book, and maybe where I would tell people to start, even though I personally prefer The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I think those are her 2 best books. So I got this one. I got Luna and the Lie by Mariana Zapata, which is her most recent one and has maybe the best grovel I've ever seen in a book. And then Dear Aaron, which is mostly told through texts and emails. And I think a lot of people didn't like this one as much, but it was very charming to me. I quite like this. And she has a new book coming out, I think in August. I cannot wait. My body is ready to receive a new Mariana Zapata. And again, she's indie published, so she's probably my favorite contemporary romance author right now, so I like supporting her in a couple of different ways. The next one that I got was The Wolf and the Whale by Jordana Max Brodsky. I decided to pick this up because I really enjoyed this at the beginning of the year. This is a fantasy romance. This like straddles the line between fantasy romance and fantasy with strong romantic elements. It's kind of in between, but if you're looking for epic fantasy romance with Inuit and Viking culture, she's got you. So I really like this. Also, there's deckled edges, just so you know, if that's your thing. And then finally, 2 hardback entries into my romance collection. First, I did go ahead and pick up The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang when I got Gods of Jade and Shadow from Book of the Month Club. They also had The Kiss Quotient in hardback, so I decided to pick that up to match my copy of The Bride Test that I have in hardback. And then I picked up a copy of The Duchess Deal by Tessa Dare in hardback because this is one of my favorite Tessa Dares, and I noticed that the price on this was actually pretty reasonable. Also, I don't love couples on the covers of these kinds of romances, but this is one of the more tastefully done ones, and I actually love the detail on her dress here. So there you go. So those are all of my non-classic collection ones. And finally, let's wrap up with my classic collection entries for the month. Okay, first of all, when I was at Books A Million, I did find 3 of these Pulp the Classics for very cheap. So these are sort of like pulp noir interpretations of classics covers. So Frankenstein is definitely my favorite of these ones that I picked up in this sort of James Dean style. I thought that was super cute. I picked up Alice in Wonderland, which is sort of like a hippie psychedelic version of a pulpy cover. And then finally, 3 Men in a Boat, which sort of looks kind of like the Marx Brothers. So I thought that was exciting to find those for such a good price. I added that to that collection that I have. In terms of my facsimile editions of Agatha Christie, I did go ahead and pick up Sleeping Murder because this is probably my favorite Marple book. I don't know, we'll talk about it in my wrap up, but I really just love this book. And it's not one of the most exciting facsimile editions, but it is very 70s, so you know, you gotta respect it for what it is. Then I used some more birthday money to pick up a few of these Everyman's Library editions that I collect. So in the red spine, I picked up Penin by Vladimir Nabokov. This is one that I've been wanting to read for quite some time, and the price dropped on it, so I decided to go ahead and grab it in the nice form. So even if I don't end up enjoying it, I at least have a nice copy of it that will look good with the rest of my books. Then I also picked up The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky to replace my paperback copy of it. This is in the black spine. Also in the black spine is The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. So those are my new additions to my Everyman's Library collection. Coming up at the end, and Lord guys, I am tired. So it's good that we're at the end because I gotta wrap this up. I have the latest entry into the Penguin Clothbound Classics collection, which is Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. So this is the latest installment in this edition of Classics. These covers are designed by Coralie Bigford Smith. They are absolutely beautiful. I collect them. I am caught up on my collection, so now I'm only introducing new titles when they come out. This came out at the beginning of July. The next one comes out at the beginning of September. And yeah, if you are interested in seeing my collection in its entirety, right now on my Instagram, I am doing a penguin a day. So I am slowly doing like rainbow stripes, like a theme in my Instagram for all of these books. It will take a couple of months to finish, but they will all be displayed, including this one, as a part of that little Instagram project I'm doing. So, most exciting thing I picked up in my birthday month for sure, and I think that brings us to the end of this haul. Okay, so that will do it for all the books that I picked up in July. There were plenty of them. Happy birthday to me. Yay. So definitely let me know if any of these books intrigued you, if you'd like for me to get to them sooner rather than later. I'm always happy to take that under advisement. And let me know the most exciting book that you have picked up recently. So I think that will do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below. And I think that will do it. Hope you guys are having an absolutely lovely day, and I will just talk to you soon. Bye.